G'day, how's it going? So this one's a little bit different to what you probably normally see me do on the Snapchat and Instagram posts. But here I am, sitting up the top of my favourite lookout here in Geelong, overlooking all the city and everything like that. And I come up here a fair bit to do some reflecting and whatnot. Most mornings before work, it's a beautiful sunrise or something, I'll come up here and stand at the top of the hill for 5-10 minutes. Just have that, teaching myself a bit more gratitude to each day that you wake up. And I thought it was a good time to share this video with you. As you can see, I've got my trusty notepad with me, as I normally do, taking down things I think about. And I've wanting to share my story from, when was that? Probably about 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago now, where I was at Meredith Music Festival, and I broke down in tears. And it's one of the toughest times in my life. That year was an interesting one. We'd just gone back to back with footy, and I actually got myself an extra medallion. And yes, I'm still living with that, BAG, of course. And so it was good times, but at the same time, my anxiety and depression was at its height, massive height. So it was at Meredith that it finally caught up with me, and like I said, I just broke down in tears, and I was almost, couldn't really string two words together. And it wasn't till I started opening up to people that were there and told them what was going on, and they said, "Oh, why didn't you just talk to me?" I said, "Well, because I couldn't. I thought it was too hard, and they wouldn't understand and whatnot." But once I did that, a few days later, had a few phone calls with different people, and it was amazing. Like, the amount of relief that just came through, and the weight off my shoulders straight away, it was unbelievable. And from that day forward, over the last 3 years to now, where I'm the happiest I've ever been, is unbelievable. It's from having anxiety attacks when you're simply just going to the supermarket or going to a friend's house. I remember when I was going to pick up some tickets from a couple that I've known for years, and I actually was driving back from Melbourne. I said I called into a coffee shop and got a short black and a strong cappuccino, because I thought I knew I was going to battle to even just walk in and say, "How you going?" So that's how bad it was. And the progression I've made since then has just been unbelievable. I've listening to a lot of podcasts about mental health, and that was a stepping stone for me. I just typed that into the podcast app, just typed in personal development or mental health, and started listening to one called Over It and On With It with Christine Hessler, who has callers call in about problems they're going through, and listening to some of that, it was just I could relate so much to it. It was unbelievable. So I'd stick that on with on the long trips away or whatever, and so that was so beneficial. So this is probably one of the strongest things that I held close to my heart. I wear a Beyond Blue band every day. to try and get more awareness, and this is the purpose of this video. I want people to start making these conversations like an everyday conversation. It shouldn't have to get to the moment where you find yourself absolutely flat on the floor with nowhere to go. It shouldn't get to that stage. You should be able to open up to your friends, particularly guys. They hold it in a lot more than girls. We don't seem to talk about our problems too much, but I think once you make the first step and you open up, you'll be forever grateful. Nothing that you're going through will last forever. Even the bad times, if you start to change your mindset to thinking in a more positive way, how we can get through these problems, just setting targets, goals that you can reach after a week or two or a month, and just slowly progress from that, you'll just start to notice the differences. One of the best things I did was I actually went to a GP who put me onto a therapist in Geelong, and it was funny. I sitting in the car out the front, and again, anxiety come through, could hardly breathe. Sat there for a few minutes and didn't think I could go in. Took a few deep breaths, regathered, walked in for the hour-long session, and it was the most beneficial thing I've done. The lady I spoke to, she was only a few years older than me, which made it, a little bit easier. We could relate a bit more, you just don't realise how much you can open up to someone once you make the effort. It's all about effort. If you're willing to take the time to do these sorts of things, you will see the results. And as I can say, it's been a tough, I wouldn't say tough, it's been 3 years to where I am now. And man, if I could, I'm putting an open invitation to anyone who's out there now watching this. If you are in a position where you can't see an end result, you don't think anything is going to work out, just remember that you've got family and friends who do love you, who are willing to listen. So just catch them at a moment. It might just be a phone call or even just a text for a catch up. I urge you to do it, because over the last few years we've lost people from these situations where they didn't think they could go on, and that's really sad. We should never get to that point where you actually have to take your own life. Like I said, if I am going on a trip next year in my van, old Heidi, and Wandering Wilbur, and a lot of it will be by myself, and I want to start a new almost campaign, which is to get out of your comfort zone, because once you start putting yourself out there, you'll reap the rewards and live a better life, which we all deserve, because it is a beautiful life that we live. So if anyone is struggling, like I said, I've been up here about 40 minutes reflecting, writing stuff down. I've got notes here. One of my favourite quotes from Marcus Aurelius, which I've just started reading his book, Meditations, which is his diaries that he used to use. If you don't know it, look it up. It's a lot of amazing information that you can read. One of them is everything can be taken from a man, but one thing hang on, let me start again. Jeez, I don't usually get nervous on film. Look at me, bloody hell. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. So that cannot be taken from you. And I think that is the absolute bee's knees of that book. It is all about attitude. Once you start changing your mindset, getting off the couch, going for things like doing some exercise, catching up with friends, just sending out a text, hey, can we catch up? You will be forever grateful. So if, again, let's finish off this year in a strong way. 2018 for me is going to be a very exciting one, which is another key set to do, is to set yourself goals. Next year, like I said, going on a road trip in March, bought a block which settles at the end of the year, a new career change because I've lost a passion for plumbing. So these are all things which is making my 2018 a very exciting one, and that's something that you guys can do, is write down on a bit of paper just a list of goals that you want to achieve next year and build from that. So like I said, if anyone wants to talk, I'm always free, happy to do so, share some knowledge that I've learned over the last few years. Probably jabbered on a bit too much, or maybe not enough. Had it all planned out, but of course I'm no good at this stuff, so I'll leave it at that. Hope everyone has a great new year, a safe one, and let's bring in 2018 in style, a few beers and whatnot. And as always, peace and love.